a chance to shoot a whole lot of B-roll for this year's Free Comic Book Day interview show. So you just got to put with my face for a little bit, and hope you don't mind the lighting. Hope you don't mind the sound, because the microphone I thought would work turned out to not work at all. So I just had to use the built-in microphone on the camera. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear our guests well enough. But first, about Free Comic Book Day. I managed to get all but one of the titles that I wanted to get this year, so that's actually not too bad for me. The only one I missed was Punchline. Maybe I'll get to read that at some point, maybe I won't. But I did get a whole bunch more, and that was pretty good. The crowd was pretty decent when I got there. By the time I did the little B-roll that I was able to do, not so much, but a couple of really cool cosplays. So our interviews, first we'll be looking at the interview that I actually did last, but he was kind of busy, so I only got maybe a few minutes with him. Mark Texeira, and I could be pronouncing any of these names wrong, and I apologize if I am. He's done a lot of work for Marvel. Also, illustrator Frank Malec was there, and this will be an interview you're seeing next. And then the longest interview is with storyboard artist and actually a storyboard teaching artist as well, Robert Castillo. And this one was a lot more, actually quite fascinating. So I hope, but all these will be interesting. I hope you do enjoy these interviews, and let's just get right to it.
Mark Texeira, I draw for Marvel Comics and DC for the last, since 1980. So.
What got you interested in comics?
I think it was the fact that it was something that was not a real job. It looked like drawing for a living, which is what it is. It doesn't really give you a lot of... it falls on that side of life that if you ever wanted to live a life and be happy, falls on that side. But it doesn't fall on the responsible end of living kind of decision making. But that's okay. Sometimes you live to be happy, you know.
How'd you get into Marvel?
A lot. 6 years of rejection. From 14 to 19, and I learned how to draw comics. If you want to do it, it can happen. Believe me, my parents didn't think it would ever happen.
So what kind of titles have you worked on?
Many. You just look up my name, believe me. I started in 1980. So, you know, but the most famous ones is Ghost Rider. I did a lot more work after that. And before that.
What's your favorite character to draw?
Spider-Man is definitely up there. Ghost Rider is definitely up there. Wolverine is always up there. Lately, it's been, you know, a lot of Black Panther. I helped create the Dora Milaje for Black Panther. That's why I get credited in all the Marvel movies recently. That's been nice. I'm in the annals of the histories now, as having been a creator of Dora Milaje that was shown from Walking Dead plays. So that's fun.
Do you have any other projects that you're working on right now?
I have lots that come out, but nothing specifically right now. No, I just finished a bunch last year. I just stay busy on covers and busy on conventions.
Do you have any advice for anybody you might want to get into comics?
If you don't like drawing 8-10 hours a day, don't do it. There are some people that can do it.
Where can they find? Oh, sorry. No, continue. Continue on.
What was that?
No, continue on to what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. If you don't like drawing 8-10 hours a day, then don't do it. But, you know, it's just one of those things that if you're willing to ever draw and never stop drawing, then it's a great venue for you. But not many people have that kind of dexterity, persistence. I did. None of my brothers and sisters did. It's just not in my family. It's just one of those things that just wanted to be like Smiling Stan Lee, like Jazzy John Reed.
So where can people find out more about your work?
Online, just type in my name. It's the simplest name ever. Tex. Comic book artist. Easy.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Frank Malec, and I mostly draw fairies and fun pop culture mashups. and sketch covers.
How'd you get into artistry?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You pick up a comic book and a kid, the bug bites you and you never stop.
What kind of things do you like to draw?
Standard superheroes, steampunk.
What got you into those genres?
I picked up an issue of the X-Men when I was 12 years old, and I've been sold ever since. And then the whole steampunk aesthetic with the Art Deco and the stylings. Can't go wrong with any of that.
What kind of comics have you worked on?
I'm working on a self-published comic called The Bunny, which hopefully will be finished sometime this year. And that's about it. I've worked for a couple role-playing games, and mostly just do my own thing.
What's Bunny about?
It's about a big old homeless guy in a bunny suit that he hasn't taken off in 30 years, and he thinks he's a superhero, but he kind of isn't.
What would be the audience sheet for that book?
I am honestly not sure, but I hope there is one.
What about for age range?
I would say I'm not going over the top or mature, so I would say, early teens up, 12 and up.
Do you have any advice for anybody who might want to get into comics or drawing or anything?
Just do it. Draw. And if you got an idea, just put it down. If you got to publish it yourself, publish it yourself.
And where can they find more about your work?
You can find me on Facebook at Frank Malec Illustration, Instagram at FMM3, Twitter at FMM3, and I'm sure there's a bunch I'm forgetting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you? My name is Robert Castillo. I'm a storyboard artist. I've done storyboards for Captain Marvel, a lot of promotional stuff for Marvel Comics and Marvel Online. And I worked on a lot of TV shows like The Sopranos in the past, and a lot of music videos. And I live in Ansonia, Connecticut.
What got you into storyboarding?
What's that?
What got you into storyboarding?
I've been storyboarding for 12 years. I love comics and I love movies. And the first thing that I storyboarded was a music video when I was living in New York City. And then after that, I got a chance to work on The Sopranos, and that was like my big break. I worked on The Sopranos, and I did storyboards for them. I love movies, and I also love drawing, so storyboards came easy to me, came natural to me.
So did you storyboard the infamous final scene of The Sopranos?
I storyboarded a couple of scenes, like action scenes on the highway. Some of the, I remember season 3, I storyboarded. There was a scene, there was a highway where they pull over and they have like this big fight and Tony Soprano gets out of the car. So sometimes they have me storyboard scenes that are very intricate, where there's a lot of action or there's violence and stuff like that. So
you don't have any insights on the finale and whether or not he actually lived?
What's that?
You don't have any insights into whether or not he actually lives in the finale after the...
No, sometimes they would take scenes, and I wouldn't get the whole script. They'll give me a scene. For example, when I worked on Captain Marvel, it was more like, it was the beginning stages of it, and they give you snippets of what they want, and sometimes you don't get the whole thing. So sometimes they let you do what you want. They want you to design certain things, and I got a chance to design in the beginning, design some costumes and stuff like that before they changed directors, So, but it's a little hectic kind of job because it's very fast. When you do storyboards, a lot of times they want it right away. They want it the next day, so you got to be able to sketch quick and draw fast.
Did you ever have to redo a storyboard because they changed the scene?
Oh, many times. In fact, this weekend I had to change like 40 shots for a commercial, and it was stressful. And they only gave me 3 hours to do it, so I had to rearrange shots and stuff like that. So it can be hectic. So drawing quick is very important. But money-wise, it's great because you charge by the day. It's a day rate. And, I just love doing it. I love it. I love drawing.
Have you ever worked on any comics?
I've never done comics, but I'm thinking about doing my own comic book, my own, independent comic about my life, about some of the bullying that I went through as a kid. So
I know,
you
know what that's like.
definitely. So I think you can relate to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I did do a short film about my life, where it talks about some of the things I went through. It's called S.P.I.C, the storyboard of my life, and it's actually on Amazon. And I won a Student Academy Award in 2004 for it. So if I do a comic book, it's going to be based on some of the stuff I went through. Because everybody can relate to that, you know. And being bullied when I was a kid, I would draw, I would sit in the back of the class and do cartoons and draw superheroes, you know, for myself in my own little notebook. So, yeah.
I know that story.
So I teach storyboarding and I teach illustration. I taught at UConn for 1 year, but I love teaching also because I get to work with, you know, young kids that were like me and they want to get into this stuff, and I get to see where they're at and build, you know, help them build on what they have and on their talent and stuff like that. So, but I enjoy it because I kind of see myself in them, you know, because they're starting out and they're all excited about doing it, and then I got to tell them the truth about how stressful and painful it is, you know. But that's another story. I mean, it's got its perks, and you know, there's the hard times too. But I love what I do either way.
You teach art in general or storyboarding specifically?
More like storyboarding, but more like illustration or anatomy, concept art, whatever, animation, basic animation. I taught it all, you know what I'm saying? Because I took a lot of courses and I got my master's degree from the School of Visual Arts, so I was in school for a very long time.
So how do you balance that and doing the actual storyboarding?
It's tough also with your living and you know, your pets and everything, but I would say I don't really have like a social life. Like my social life is basically working, doing storyboards, teaching. If I'm not teaching or doing storyboards, I'm practicing and I'm studying and trying to get better. So it's like family, storyboarding, teaching, drawing. Don't have a lot of time to go hang out and do too much. Occasionally I'll go see a Marvel film or something, go see a movie. But it's a lot of work. But I love doing it. I love doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I love this stuff. So it's awesome.
Advice for anybody who might want to get into storyboarding?
I would say if anybody wants to get into storyboarding, know how to draw. It's important to know how to draw, but also know camera angles. And you know, you have to know the film language of movies. So watch your favorite movie without the sound, and you can see how shots are made up. That's what it's important. It's all about the shot. It's not about the detail a lot of the times. And there's tons of books out there and tons of courses that you can do. And a lot of schools are offering it now. But it's a necessity. A lot of movies and a lot of content is coming out online that needs storyboard artists. So.
And where can people find more about your work?
You can go online and look me up. I have a couple of sites that are up, but if you Google me, Robert Castillo Storyboards, you're going to see a lot of my work, and a lot of the top sites are going to come up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
One more thing to note, Mr. Costello gave me that Ninja Turtles piece, so I'm just waiting until I can get a decent frame to put in it, because this is beautiful work, let me tell you. And a very interesting conversation with a very nice guy. Mr. Texeira, of course, was busy doing a lot of stuff. Mr. Malec also really good. So I want to thank all three of you for taking some time out to talk to me. I hope that you will check out all of their stuff. I do have a summary of my Free Comic Book Day haul, and I will be doing more long-form reviews over the next few weeks. Although it actually turns out to be the next few months if you really calculate it. And I do have another video review that I am working on that will be hopefully coming soon. And other stuff, so stay tuned. And I hope you all had a great Free Comic Book Day.